Yarg! How's everybody out there in Raider Nation land? This is Captain Jack. We are coast to coast Raider Nation with my wonderful co-host, who actually I'm going to throw it over to the first person. I'm sorry, y'all. No offense here, but the first person I'm throwing this over to is Miss Angria Trask, which I tell you, and I'm not blowing smoke up her skirt because she rarely wears the skirt, but
Never.
The woman that I know knows more about the Raiders than pretty much anybody I know, and that's including me. So, and I'll tell you what, the other good thing is that she is a Nazi on grammar. So whenever I don't say things correctly, and I thought I was a pretty anal person, but when I don't do things correctly, anal in a good way, Al. Anal in a good way, Al.
Stop it.
Okay. When I'm not doing things correctly, I will have the wonderfulness of Miss Angria Trask here with me. Thanks for joining us, Angria. We are going to be rocking. So I booted to you first. How are you doing up there in frozen, not quite, Anchorage, Alaska?
I am doing great. It is getting closer and closer to frozen every day. So unfortunately, I'm a little chillier this week than I was last week. And that's just going to continue to get worse. But that's okay because I have football to keep me warm.
Well, there you go. Okay. And then, and I say that this man needs no introduction, but yeah, he does. From the hard streets of L.A., from the wonderful hard streets as well up in the Pacific Northwest, and currently from the hard streets of Orlando, Florida, my boy, my man, the one and only Big L. How you doing tonight, Big L?
Speaking of wordsmithing.
Wordsmithing, okay.
You've used anal,
okay.
hard,
got it.
and big.
Anal, hard, and big are the trifectas for tonight. If you add anal, hard, and big on your coast-to-coast Raider Nation bingo, you almost have a bingo. Well, you actually might if you have the free space there. So we're looking for one more word. We'll see what that word is later on.
But if you're
Wait a minute. Is this like the $64 question or secret word?
Well, we
I don't know.
We can do anything we want there.
But
Andrew.
if it's tic-tac-toe.
Well, if it's tic-tac-toe, we've won.
Yeah, I was about to say you've won.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, those
anyway,
are all X's.
Speaking of, no, we're not going to go with X's because, see, that could,
Yeah,
that's a whole nother can of worms.
that's right.
However, how are you guys doing out there tonight? We are coming to you live from the palatial Captain Jack Studios.
Yes, which will only get better as time goes by. I will say this, and this is a little bit of an adjunct here, is I am happy to say that today, and this is a little bit close to home here, the local newscast finally, after about 6 weeks of having the story
Did they
in the
go
can,
after the jackass?
they went. Oh, see, I didn't say it. They went and ran the story of about the contractor who has ripped off Captain Jack, who is trying to make his more palatial studios a reality. They finally went with the story, so I'm going to use that as a, shall we say, an adjunct to the already large, hopefully, case that I have against this. I won't say what he is. So hopefully, eventually, I will be able to see some fruition of my dollar of this
Yay.
person going into. I saw it. That I know. I saw it. I'm trying to actually see if this is actually going out. And I don't see it going out, which is a bummer. So we'll have to fix that. Anyway, that's our promo. That's our intro. I'm happy because we are here doing this, and it's fun. Now, one of the things that wasn't fun was watching our Raiders play for the second week in a row a game where they showed up for the first half and they proceeded to give the game away in the second half. The first week I was there live in Oakland to watch the Rams come back and score 23, I believe, on the Raiders in the second half, to watch the Raiders lose that game. And then on TV, watch as the Raiders could not get out of their own way to let the Denver Donkeys score 20 in the second half and lose by 1 point. 1 point. Go ahead, Al. I can see you. You seem like you're constipated. I'm gonna let you get that thought out.
Yeah. See, I better let it out the front, because if it comes out the back, we're gonna need a hazmat team.
This podcast just got really dirty.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna get worse, but
it'll be a clean worse. There you go.
Yeah, it's one thing. See, week 1, we lost to a Super Bowl contender. We held our own, and a lot of that was predicated with, I think a lot of it was, our quarterback had a bad week. He got rattled once his legs got hit, and the offensive line didn't have the best week in the world. The defense just got tired. There were too many 3-and-outs. Sunday, the fourth quarter, the second half of the fourth quarter, the play calling was atrocious offensively. Defense played good enough to win. The offense, that last series, the last 3 plays cost us the game.
Okay, and I actually got some sound on that. If you will indulge me, everybody, let's hear what Coach Gruden said in his press conference that he had on Monday. This is the after the game press conference on Monday. I'm going to start it up here. The first thing we're going to hear is the coach is talking about improvements, but he's also talking about how a dirty subject was brought up, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that dirty subject is, but let's hear the coach himself. Go ahead, Coach Gruden, take it away.
We said after the game, we got to make improvements there. Across the board, we got to make improvements. That was pretty obvious.
Lack of a pass rush, does it make you regret your trade decision?
No, it doesn't make me regret trade. We made the trade. We made the trade. There's going to be hindsight, 50-50, all that stuff. But we would have loved to have had him here. I'm not going to keep rehashing this. I would have loved to have coached him, loved to have had him here, but he's not here, and somebody's got to step up. We got to keep building our football team. That's what we're going to do, and hopefully we see more from Arden Key. Hopefully we see more from P.J. Hall when he gets healthy, and hopefully we prove that
PJ's hurt.
In the long term we did the right thing.
All right, I'm going to stop it there for right now. I got some more play, and as you can see, the big elephant in the room, especially with I was watching the Emmy Awards on Monday because I did not want to watch Monday Night Football. And as I'm watching other things, getting some
You missed nothing.
Well, okay, no.
You really didn't miss much.
I did miss something because I tell you, people went out of their way to ping me on IM saying, and I won't say the swear words, but it was along the lines of MFing Mac. And I keep saying this as a bunch of other people say it. I will say it for the last time. I can give a rat's arse about what Khalil Mack does. Okay, they keep posting on my page, you realize that Khalil Mack has more defensive stats right now than the Oakland Raiders defense. I don't care. I don't care. What concerns me or what I care about are the 53 guys that are on the team right now, okay? If you have a view of a certain player that's wearing 52 in Chicago, and that's where your allegiance lies, turn in your shield, turn in your cross swords, get rid of the pirate, and go root for the monsters of the Midway. That's fine. Go ahead and do that, okay? I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sure you are. I'm going to shut up for that point and let you guys interject as well.
Angria, you go first.
I have nothing different to say.
I have a little. It's a little colorful, so let me pick something up.
Shocking.
I will keep it clean. If you are that interested in a non-Raider, please turn in all your Raider gear. Pick up your microphone. Put on your suit. Slick back your hair. Buck your teeth. Go get your Collinsworth name tag.
Ooh.
And begin your ball polishing. And jump on the Khalil Mack ball polishing bandwagon, also known as the Chris Collinsworth Express. But you'll have to get on and get in the seats behind Mark Witten, Sean McDonough.
You mean Jason Witten, right?
Yeah, Jason. I don't
Jason
care.
Mark, it's a Witten that we don't care about.
It's a Witten.
Okay, fine.
Little Mr. Baldy, Mr. McDonough, whose father was way better than him.
Yeah. You're missing somebody as well.
No. Booger picking McFarland.
Okay, thank you. I was I was gonna say you missed him on Monday night. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I was told.
Picking Boogers was way. I mean, he almost could drive the Collinsworth bus. Yeah, they were on
the jock.
They were on his nads like they had a saddle. It was disgusting. They mentioned. Wait.
So you're telling me you don't like Chris Collinsworth?
Oh, I can't stand Chris Collinsworth. And
How
I'm a Gator.
dare you?
I'm a Gator and I can't stand his arse. I didn't say the other one. I said arse.
I know.
He blew more than the damn hurricane that was in the Atlantic. Okay?
He
caused
full
more
of hot
damage
air.
in North Carolina than the damn hurricane. Okay?
I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
He blew more than Vanessa Del Rio in her entire career.
Ooh.
Oh,
And
hey-o.
we just went X-rated. Thank you, Mr. L. But that's true.
For the little ears.
For the little ears. Okay.
How am I gonna follow that? That's not fair.
I tell you what we'll do is you don't need to, because you said that you did, unless you wanted to add that. We'll go right back to the coach, who basically said, obviously, the Raiders are a work in progress, but you know what? He really likes some guy named Carr and the toys he has on offense.
Do you buy into the thing where guys have to learn how to win together? Is that something you buy? Is that a process that they need to get through, or how do you?
Yeah, I don't. I try to stay in shallow water, not to get real deep and philosophical. You know, we had an extra point blocked. We had a 4th and 1. We got to convert that play. We had an offensive pass interference call that was critical at the end of the game. We had a false start on 2nd and 4. We missed a couple plays that we should make. Guys are fighting. Guys are working hard. We're a work in progress. We got a long way to go, and we're going to get there. I'm going to remain confident indeed.
You look at those, there's like 5 or so plays that if any one of those plays goes your way, you probably win the game. Is that easier than to take out of it and look, hey guys, we can learn from this, or is it still a loss is a loss?
I know what we're doing. I have a pretty good feel for what's going on here. You know, I know what the reality is. The reality is our quarterback played great yesterday. You know, in a very tough place to play against one of the most formidable fronts in all of football. We pass protected very well. We had balance. Disappointed in the outcome. Going to continue to see the glass half full, but at the same time, you know, going to put my head down, keep digging, keep working, keep scratching, keep looking for ways to keep building the foundation of this football team.
Okay, so like Tony Sperano, who wanted to bury the football, Coach Gruden's out there. He's digging, and the one thing, and I'm going to use that analogy as well. Coach is digging on the team because he can see that there's a lot that is positive here, and we're not gonna go back to that other player, because again, as far as I'm concerned, unless it comes up in another conversation at a later time, that person is dead. I will not ever wear that person's jersey while he's still an active NFL player, and up until the time that he ever comes back to the Raiders, like Charles Woodson does. So again, I'm worried about the 53 guys that are here. But Coach Gruden knows that at this time, the things are, he's happy with the team. He's happy with the offense. And they got some things that they got to have done. Now, the coach will talk about the defense in a little bit, but that's not my next clip. Andrea, your take on that as well.
Well, the fact that Gruden said that, okay, are we talking about offense or defense?
Well,
we're not talking about that number 52, right?
We're not talking about 52. He snapped.
Okay, because I'm really just stuck on a comment that he made today that everyone's blowing up out of proportion. So we'll get there in a minute, I'm sure.
Okay.
But on offense, I don't think there's anything that Gruden doesn't have there. It's just a matter of giving him time to develop it. He has a quarterback that has an amazing skill set, but has to be taught different habits. He has to break all these habits that Derek Carr has learned for the last 4 years under different head coaches and different OCs and different quarterback coaches. So how many coaches has he had? What, a dozen at this point between all of those? They all imparted bad habits, bad wisdom, bad things. I mean, he didn't learn anything good from those people. The best one, arguably, I guess, is Bill Musgrave, who is the only OC that we've had since John Gruden to bring us to a playoff game. So he's got all. Just remember, it's going to take time for him to break all these bad habits. Derek Carr was still young and still only third year when Jack Del Rio stepped in and they actually went to the playoffs. So it was his third year. Right now we're on year 5. He's had 2 extra years to be treated like crap, to have to rehab from 3 pretty major injuries, and you have to give him a break. You have to give him time. Now he's got a coach that cares about him, that cares about getting the help that he needs, that cares about getting him some protection and getting the team back to where they should be. And it's going to take time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. L?
Well, the reality of it is Bill Musgrave gets credit for a lot of, he gets credit for a lot of good fortune as far as that 12-4 season. I'm a Raider fan. We had a lot of good luck. It was almost like we had to deal with the devil that year, and we didn't pay up.
I said, it was arguably Bill Musgrave.
Yeah,
that's the argument I've heard. So I can see where you're going with this.
We had, we didn't pay up the, we didn't pay the fiddler, and so Musgrave.
We paid for the fiddler on Christmas Eve. That's for sure.
And and Musgrave and Carr's leg got broken, but Penn. That's when Penn's first injury was hidden. He shouldn't have been on the field because he was playing with a broken. He had a fracture in his leg, and that's what actually led to Carr's leg getting broken. Penn was hurt, and nobody bothered to nurse him for a week. But the reality of it is, okay, not only was Carr hurt when he came back, he got hurt again. So he was dealing with 2 injuries in year 4. Musgrave got rave reviews, but we won like half of our games with smoke and mirrors. So we had more wins than we really should have had that year. We ended up in a playoff game, and Paul McGroin was our quarterback, and so we got,
I love that.
It was Pat McGroin. Come on.
no, because he didn't. Nobody was going to pat his groin. He got pulled, and so he
Patting his
ends
own
up.
groin.
Yeah, well, that was probably what was wrong. He was patting his own groin the night before, and his legs were rubber. His arm was.
Are
even
you
worse.
the reason why we lost in Houston, Andrea?
Were you patting his groin?
Not that I
were
recall.
or were you growing his pat?
That either. No.
Okay.
Neither of
so
those.
Okay.
So we were once again screwed by the fact that we had a absolutely subpar backup quarterback. And so then the proof was in the pudding, and then I have no idea why Jack Del Rio decided to promote the carrier of the speak and spell, Downing. And,
That's why he's
even know how
here,
to
folks.
respond
We
to
can't
that.
think of all of these things together.
it was absolutely pathetic. I mean, okay, Musgrave used smoke and mirrors, and then, so you trust Downing with an absolute, I'm not going to say the word, with an absolutely matterless fecal playbook.
Ooh. Okay.
And he didn't even know how to use it. At least Musgrave was the one, wiping it on the wall in the bathroom, so he knew how to do it.
And with that, I'll tell you what, let's get back to the coach because, again, he knows what he has, the positives here, and he knows where his bread is buttered.
Hold on. I just want to say one thing to what El said, because
Okay.
this is totally in support of what he just said. We have to remember Musgrave, great. He did a good job getting us to 12-4. But you know who actually won that? Derek Carr with his, 8 fourth quarter comebacks?
At least 7, if I remember right. At least
I
7.
think it was 8.
Uh-huh. Well, you're probably
believe.
right. I already
I
gave you the
believe.
platitudes. Yeah.
Because he and Matt Stafford that year, he likes to be called Matthew Stafford,
Who cares? He sucks.
both had 8 fourth quarter somethings. And Carr had fourth quarter comebacks, and I believe that Matthew Stafford had the game-winning drives, or vice versa. That I can't remember off the top of my head because I was writing for both teams at the time. So it was difficult to keep them straight. But let's remember, Bill Musgrave is not the one throwing out
irrelevant.
these last few-minute drives or these last game-winning drives or the last quarter. He's not the one throwing those out there. He may be calling the plays, but execution is on Derek Carr.
Okay. Well, let's go back to Coach Gruden as he talks. Again, he knows where his bread is buttered on this team.
I just think he's a heck of a player. I really do. I think he sees the field. I think he's got an incredible arm talent. And I think we've got good receivers. I think getting our big guy out there, number 12, I think he makes a difference. His presence out there makes a difference. And Coop was hot. Amari had a great game. I think when you have 10 targets and 10 catches, that is extremely uncommon, hard to do. And he really should have been 11 for 11 after going down and bagging that deep ball on a sideline. But it's a combination of all that and the protection. We had good pass protection for most of the day, and that's a great accomplishment.
Okay, I'm going to cut it there as well. One other thing that's going on is that, again, obviously Coach Gruden knows that the offense is going to win the games. And I tell you, there was an interjection that my buddy said to me today, and I hadn't really thought about it because, again, I'm going to break my own rule. He was talking about the reason why a certain player was not on this team anymore. And it wasn't necessarily about money. It was the fact that the two egos in the room of the certain player that's not here anymore, that's in the Windy City, and with
He who shall not be named.
he who shall not be mentioned, yes. And Coach Gruden, he said, he had a bad feeling or they didn't get along. I said, they didn't know each other. He says, no, Jay, you cannot get along with somebody even if you've never met them. And I said, okay, I'll take that at face value. And the fact is that certain player that shall not be mentioned ever again.
You mean number 50 who?
Yeah, 50 who. That's right.
50 who.
Didn't want to play because Gruden is offense, and that'll work here for the Raiders for a while. But you know what? That offense right now better score at least, I want to say, minimum 24 to 27 a game, or they're not going to do anything at all. Okay? Not going to do anything at all. And
I gotta say, with John Gruden doing the way he's doing right now, it's going to be a whole Whoville going on over there in Oakland Town, because there's a lot of people that are 50 who's and 90 who's and coach who's.
Well, I tell you what. Apparently, there's a little bit of you guys can't hear the Gruden audio. I'm going to go to the source on this, so hopefully you guys can hear it a little bit better. I'm turning on my Adobe Audition, and if I can get to the multi-track like I want, and hopefully it's here. I don't see it. Gosh darn it! Okay.
Well,
Lesson learned. We'll try to get it squared away as well. But I will say this. And the fact is that, you know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Don't poo-poo it. We're gonna live and die with the offense. But I tell you what.
But the other thing, not to interrupt you, but I think another thing that is key is have hope, because right now it's easy for the interior line to focus on the rookie out of Michigan.
Hurst.
Yeah. It's easy for them to key on Hurst because the real spark plug and the real steal in the draft, PJ Hall, is not in there. He's not 100%
Yeah,
yet.
I see what you did there, Al.
And-
Easy to key on Hurst. Come on, that was bad.
Well, I mean, you picked up
You
on
just
something that
discounted
I
two
didn't
of
even
our rookies
realize.
right in one
But
fell swoop.
without PJ Hall in there, and then when you think back to last year, the true disruptor in the middle was Vanderdoes. And he's not in there either. I mean, was he like Pro Bowl quality? No. But was he a disrupting force in the middle? Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll
He
see.
was our pressure in the middle. He wasn't like, he put enough pressure in the middle that forced teams to have to pay attention to him, because if they didn't pay attention to him, he was getting past. They at least had to chip him, which would occasionally give the other tackle an opportunity to get loose through the middle.
Okay, and having said that, I got the direct audio. I'm going to try it from here. Hopefully you guys can hear it a little bit better. Predictions by Gruden? I think not. Let's hear what the coach has to say on that.
How do you get better at closing off games?
Well, you can close them out in a lot of ways. You know, there's a number of ways we could have closed that game out yesterday on offense. You know, maybe call a better play on 4th and 1. Get that conversion. You know, perhaps improve your field goal protection, your PAT protection. Perhaps, you know, eliminate the penalty on 2nd and 4. You know, defensively, you have them 2nd and 20 on their own 10-yard line with no timeouts. Somebody's got to make a play. But you know, I got to do a better job coaching. It all starts and ends there.
There you go. Interjections. Clan.
I would say he pretty much,
Right on the money for what?
Yeah.
For what? I mean,
he buried the nail.
that's it. Everybody was supposed to do what they were supposed to do, and it was a team loss like it was a team win. The offense showed up in the first half, and when they needed to show up in the second half, they either had like a really objectionable call, pass interference on Cooper. What about the call where Cook was not lined up and both Cook went off for the offsides, and then Carr didn't make sure that he was onside. The defense was gassed by that point. There's a video rolling around. It shows that Irvin was playing like, I don't want to say he was playing patty cake, but he was not up to snuff. So there's enough blame to go around on that. Andrea?
I think there's enough blame to go around everywhere because this whole team is learning each other, and they're learning new playbooks, they're learning new coaches. There's no one person is responsible for this, but I think at least Coach Gruden is taking on his own responsibility and telling everybody he understands he needs to coach better. That's the bottom line. When it comes down to coaching most of the time, unless you can identify one specific person, that specific play ruined the game. There was more than one of those. So Gruden's absolutely right. He's showing his humility at least, which is not a common thing for John Gruden. Part of why we love him is because he's a bigger-than-life personality. But the fact that he can humble himself and make it clear, I screwed up, and this is on me. I'm going to do a better job. That says a lot to me.
I was going to say, and we're going to go back to the coach because I think you're going to hear a little bit more of exactly what we were talking about in this last segment.
When you look at the film, just that final drive, that final 2-minute offense.
He trying to make me mad here today or what?
Just that physical exhaustion, it was just so
It
apparent.
was the hottest day, I think, in Denver Bronco football history, so it was hot. It was hot. Like I said, 3 of our defensive linemen we have not really seen play in a game, really very many practices either. So that's double trouble, honestly. The heat, the altitude, and not knowing, what kind of condition everybody's in, and it affects everybody up front. It affects Rucker, it affects Irvin, and it certainly affects Gunther, the man calling the play. So you got to go from a base defense to a nickel defense, back to a base, then they go no huddle, and then pretty soon you guys are getting tired of running on and off the field. So it's a challenge. It was a challenge to say the least, and it certainly didn't help the outcome of the game yesterday.
There you go. Couldn't said it better myself. Gruden put through. I don't want to say Gruden threw everybody under the bus, including him, but Gruden owed up to the fact that, like in the segment before, just make a play.
Yeah.
And if you and like I said, don't blame it on one person. Don't blame it on the heat. I love the fact that he went off on the guy who asked him the question. Were you trying to piss me off here? That was fun.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, at the end of the PC, it's a team win, it's a team loss. Now, what you didn't hear was the fact is that it has been corroborated that the Raiders are going to be wearing their black uniforms in Miami this weekend for a 1:00 game. Here's my surprised face. Ooh, okay, so Miami's going to put us out there in black unis at 1:00 in the afternoon. By the way, NFL
In
Florida, can somebody tell me why that the NFL won't schedule West Coast teams that fly all the way to the East Coast, guarantee them to have a 4:00 frickin' start? I didn't say the other one, I said frickin'. But I tell you what, this pisses me off more than anything else in the world. You have to worry about the time zone, and then you're worried about Florida in September with 100 million degree humidity and 99% or like temperatures of like up at 99 with 100 million degree humidity, and that's not counting the humility that goes with it as well. So again, it's going to be a tough one, but you know what? It doesn't matter. The Raiders came out here in 2016, had back-to-backs with Tampa Bay and Jacksonville. They won both games. It can be done. It's a matter of the team coming together and living up to their utmost and doing the job. The one guy that I don't want to quote here, but he said it best, do your job. And Belichick said it best. So hopefully the team will own up to that. Andrea, up to you.
I don't think I have anything to add to that. I think it's pretty perfect. You summed that up really well. I don't really... other than having to translate Gruden to English because a lot of people don't understand it, I think he says everything pretty much the way it should be said.
Well, and the one thing that I really appreciate is his humility. owning up to bad decisions, owning up to, just having accountability in general. He admits that, he made some bad calls, especially in that last drive, the last two drives.
Well, you know what? While we're here, I'm gonna interject something. People are saying that they made the wrong call on the fourth down play to Keith Smith. I'm sorry, they did not make. That was a great call.
He dropped the ball.
He dropped the friggin' ball. You if you catch that pass, you take more time off the clock. It's a first down. Minimum, you're going to get another 3 points, which puts the game out of reach at that point. Okay, Keith Smith dropped the ball, and if you don't think it was his fault, then why check out his Twitter where he basically apologizes to everybody for the fact that he blew the game. Okay, like I said, Cooper blew the game in the fact that I would say he didn't blow the game, but Cooper blew it when him and Roby had the offsetting pass interference calls. Trust me, I thought Roby should have just had it on his own. Cook had the offside. Irvin had the personal foul on the play.
Did they ever show us what he did?
No, he said, and I got back. Go ahead, Andrea.
The replay on that, I have no idea what happened. They just said, "Here's a foul."
Yeah,
moving on.
According to sources, what Irvin did was he basically got up in the face of an official because he not only was he being held, he was being mugged and molested, and it would have been a crime in 52 states in the union. Okay,
except Denver,
except in Colorado on Sundays. Okay,
apparently, yeah.
and he did some language which automatically threw the foul and the flag, which gives them, instead of a fourth down, gives them a first down and an eventual touchdown. Okay, that sucked.
Horse crap.
It sucked.
Well, that's just another example of what officials do to the Raiders. I bet you $1,000 if Clay Matthews walked up and said the same thing, they'd probably be like, "Just calm down, go away."
Well,
calm
I
down.
would slow that down.
I was
Did
gonna
you
say,
see
yeah, I was
the
gonna say,
personal foul,
I watched
roughing the quarterback.
Right,
He got?
I watched the Viking game where they tied the game. Clay Matthews hit the quarterback, and they called a personal foul on a legitimate friggin' hit. It wasn't anything major, and Clay Matthews
That's what
got
they're
a penalty
doing
on
these
it.
days, though. That's what they're doing. But if he walked up and said, "This is bullshit," excuse me, sorry. If
Oh
he
my
walked up and said
God!
that, he wouldn't have got a flag for it. Bruce Irvin wasn't hitting the quarterback, was he?
No, but
No,
but
he
the-
was
but
being
it was
mugged
the
and
official.
molested and prevented from doing his job.
said
And he was
unkind words.
Yeah.
being held back basically by illegal.
Send all of your complaints to Captain Jack Rackham, the Raider Pirate.
I'll take it. Andrea,
Wait, I
and
didn't
it
hear that. Are
was.
you insulting me?
No.
No. I'd never insult you.
It was BS. And
You're
and
my
I'm
Huckleberry.
I'm glad you said it. Okay, I tell you what, enough. As we're gonna
Enough.
turn the page, we've done 40 minutes on a game that we're all pissed off at. I got it. There was plays. The coach went there. We've talked about it ad nauseum. What we have to worry about is a 2-0 Miami Dolphin team, which is actually leading the AFC least. I said that correctly, not the East, the AFC least.
And I'm
I
pissed
thought I
off
heard you.
because our tailgate has to start at 9 o'clock in the damn morning.
Why does it have to start at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Because we got to be drunk by noon.
Okay, well, there you go. You heard it here first. Elle will be drunk by noon. I will be sober, so if you want to have some information where the camera's not...
Where's the camera? No,
Yeah,
he's not.
that-
He is not going to be sober at noon.
Elle, you know I don't drink. You know I don't drink when I go into a stadium because I am a target. A guy dressed up like me that has to deal with all of the crap that I do will not drink.
He's going to drink.
I'm not going to drink. Anyway,
Elle, they can't see you.
yeah, I know.
I just want you to know.
I don't care.
He-
Just in case somebody does see me.
Okay. I don't drink, guys.
Yar.
Okay. There it is. Miami. 2-0 in the AFC least. And let's go over some of the things that they got.
We got to
they're-
fix that not seeing us thing.
Okay. They're scoring 23.5 a game. They're as far as their offense, they're almost up at close to 299 and a half yards, which is I don't understand why they saying that that's 26th. That's got to be defense. I don't know. Anyway, passing yards, they're 172, which is 26.
That's their defense.
Yeah, that's got to be their defense. And rushing yards, it's got to be defensive things. Yeah. Okay, I'm on the website. The website's screwed up. Let's get the important information from BSPN, which is how the Raiders match up against the Dolphins. Overall, team offense, Oakland is sitting number 10 in the NFL, 768 yards of offense on average, in total, averaging 384. That's number 10. Offense, which is good. Miami is down a bit. If I can get down. Here we go.
They're 26th.
They're 26th.
So that was legit what was on the other
Okay,
page.
yeah. They're 26th in offense. 599 total. Averaging 299.5. Okay? So, yeah, that is stats. But you know what? Obviously, the push for offense is going to go with Oakland. Now, let's flip the script. Let's see what we got on the other side. Okay, now we're going to defense. Defense, Miami is number 17, giving up 698 yards for the year. Their defense is averaging giving up 349. Okay, again, number 17. Oakland is number 22 in the NFL, giving up 750 yards, 375 a game. But I will tell you this, Oakland is giving up a horrendous amount of rushing yards by their defense.
You are absolutely wrong on that, Captain Jack.
Okay, talk to me.
Absolutely wrong.
Talk to me.
Oakland most recently was ranked 11th in pass defense.
In pass defense.
Yes.
Defense. I'm talking overall.
Run defense, I believe they were ranked. Hold on. I have this number right here.
221, 154.
Hold on. I have this number. They were ranked actually 11th overall.
In defense
In
overall?
defense. According from Pro Football
'cause
Focus.
that's total yards.
Okay.
As well as if you go to teamrankings.com.
Okay. I'll use that from now on so we'll be on the same page because I'm on NFL team statistics total.
But see, you're
You want
on
me to read-
BSPN though.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I am going to, and you can't see it, but I am bowing. I am bowing to Miss Angria. We'll make sure we're on the same sheet of music.
And I'm giving you a Baptist wow.
Okay.
All
Point
right.
being,
I
though,
expect a choir next week.
hey, do not judge us. We'll get some sissies in here with voices. Okay.
Hercules.
SWV don't have nothing on my because we've done.
We are a duo.
We have done Ebony and Ivory, and we were damn
Mhm.
good at it. Okay.
That's right.
That's right.
I really, really need to see that.
No, you don't.
Ebony
Yeah, I do.
and
Jesus Christ, they're making me
Ivory
see it.
live
It's terrible.
together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano, keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
All right, now that we've lost all of our listeners.
Okay, you lost it. We lost it. Let's get back to football. Point
Okay,
being, Andrew,
let me-
I said the stats.
You said
Just
the
having
stats.
said that, obviously the Raiders are giving up a lot of yards in rushing now. Yes. When I tell you what, when Todd Gurley averages, and I don't have to look it up because I saw it personally, I know he in the second half he was averaging had to have been over 5 yards a carry in the second half in Oakland. Okay, they had him okay in the first half. Second half he ran away. Now. Last week, and I have it here as well, in Denver, Lindsey, 14 carries for 107 yards. The guy gashed us, the little mini-mite that was running through all of the big boys, okay? Freeman, 8 for 25. Point being is that the Raiders have got to stop the run, and it's going to be a tall effort when you're sweating your ho-hos off in black uniform with again the humility, the humidity, and all of the nastiness that's down there. And by the way, I can't stand Miami fans, so that's another reason why I'm not going to be drinking, because I don't want to have a short fuse on ignorant fans anyway. A fan base whose fight song is the Houston Oilers fight song because they can't get their own friggin' fight song. And if you don't believe me, look it the F up. Go ahead, Angry.
No, I believe you. I'm not looking at fight songs.
Soak that one in.
Yeah. Okay. Point being, so okay. How do you see it, Andrea? Like I said, are we going to get that first win this week, or are we going to be hating life and hoping that the Cleveland Browns don't get their win streak to W on us in week 4? Go ahead.
Well, I think we have no problem beating Miami. Look at the first 2 opponents they had. The Titans, who lost Marcus Mariota, I believe, in the second half sometime. I can't remember what quarter it was, but they were down a quarter. They also delayed for about 65 years before they got to be able to play again, so that usually favors the home team, just to point that out. Week 2, they beat a Jets team. A Jets team who was really flying high off of beating Detroit. A Detroit team who is barely a team, okay?
Yeah, they
Ziggy
got
Ansah's out.
crucified in week 2.
Darius Slay's gone now, even though he was there week 1. But the defense won the Jets game for them over Detroit, and Detroit is definitely stronger on defense. So their offense lost the game.
Detroit has
Bottom line.
gone back to being Detroit.
Detroit is, they're reverting back to being normal Lions.
I like saying, but did you hear what he said? Detroit. It was pretty cool.
Detroit is back to being
okay.
Detroit.
I did miss that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you meant that. I
Big
wanted
L's
to make
got
sure you
so
caught
many, so many little acronyms and I don't know, analogies, similes,
Yes,
metaphors.
Detroit has gone
whatever.
back to kissing the round muscles of the NFL.
that. Ooh, and we're back there again.
And
Okay.
we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah, I took a break. I
So
leaned
the
back.
Dolphins haven't faced the defenses that we've faced. The Dolphins haven't really faced the offenses that we've faced. So given what we've got, and I did look this, so I have to correct myself. It was the passing yards is where we're killing everybody. And Tannehill, how's his passer rating this year?
I can find it in a minute. Let's see here.
It's kind of like a Robert Downey movie. I think it's less than 0.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ouch.
That, yeah.
Derek Carr's coming off of one of the best games of his career.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just because the team lost doesn't mean that Derek Carr lost.
True.
People are giving him a lot of crap for missing this ball or missing this open wide receiver or what have you. He can't catch the ball too, guys. So give him a break.
And I said that the first time I said Derek Carr cannot go back to pass, stop, throw the ball, jump, and go run down the field, catch the ball. And oh, by the way, Derek Carr does not play special teams or defense. So again, this is a team freaking effort. And at least the offense with Derek Carr, and like I said, Coach Gruden said it all. Cook had a fantastic game the first game, okay? Carr and Cooper came off. They woke up and they were phenomenal in Denver. What we need to do is we need to get Jordy Nelson involved. We have to do a little bit more with Marshawn Lynch. We need more out of the running game, and I think we'll be able to do that with Marshawn. I tell you what, though, if I see another prepubescent effort from Doug Martin, I'm going to come screaming onto the field with my Captain Jack sword and go looking to tell Doug Martin he needs to not fly back. He needs to go pack up his crap from there and maybe go back to Tampa because at least he's in the same state. I don't want nothing to do with Doug Martin if he can't get off the schneid. He needs to do something positive for the Raiders offense.
Look,
He had like one good run last week.
One.
who gives
One.
a flying?
One.
I almost did it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I can't wait for DeAndre Washington to come back from that scoped knee. And I was going to say, Andre, do you know if Warren is definitively gone for the year, or is he eligible to come back at like week 10 or whatnot. I know he's
Yeah,
IR.
is he eligible to come back at week 8? Because he
I
only
believe
had
that he is still eligible.
Because he only
I
had a
haven't heard
scope.
anything to the contrary.
No, that's Washington. Washington had a scope too. Now Warren had a scope as well, a lighter scope. But the question is, if a guy can come back, I think they have to be on the 53 at the beginning, and then you put him on IR, and then he can come back. But the rules are so convoluted nowadays, I'd have to check that out. You're a lot smarter than me, Andrea. I'm sure you'll probably give me an answer on that the next time you see me.
I will, yeah, I can next time. But I do believe that he's eligible. I think that's why they put him on IR. But I'm not positive. I'd have to double check and research that.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say there's got to be a running back out there that will be shaken loose within the next few. If DeAndre Washington can't come back and take Martin, like I said, I'm giving Martin at least through the bye week. I'm giving him to the bye week. If I don't see anything out of him, I say we need to go find another running back to spell Marshawn Lynch.
At this point, they need to put his ass on a milk carton, because I don't see any reason why he should get the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I'm being nice. Like I said, I'm giving him to the bye week. You want him gone now. By the way, Andrea, in answer to your question, Tannehill stats for the year, 37 of 51 for 398, completion percentage 72.5, averaging about 8 yards with 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. Basically, regular Ryan Tannehill stupidity and bull.
I can do that.
So I just want to say that the Raiders. Okay, so that's, what did he say? What did you say? 398 at yardage.
Yeah, 398 total, completion
That's a little
percentage
under
about
200.
73. Sorry?
199 a game, right?
Yeah, about.
So the Raiders' passing offense is only giving up 221 a game. Miami's passing offense gives up 270. So Derek Carr can kill that, and then some. How much yardage did Carr have last week? Was it 299?
Yeah, he had over 300 if I'm not mistaken. I think he had over 300. He had 90. I think it was like 90 percentile, because he was the only player in the history of the NFL to have over 90% with over 30 passes and an L. He had right on or about 300 yards for the game, and the only player in the history of the NFL to have that many passes for that high of a completion percentage and get a big fat Lima and not a W.
Big fat Lima.
Yeah.
So he actually threw for 288 yards.
It was close, like I said.
Yeah. But he had one of the highest passing ratings.
Right.
I think he had the highest one all week, 114.6.
Right.
Which
He was close to
doubles
perfect.
just about what he normally does in Denver. So I'm not worried about Derek Carr. I don't worry about their pass defense, and I don't worry about their pass offense. We got an interception last week. Let's remember that. And let's remember how important that is to get in week 2. Do you remember how long we had to wait last year?
Yes, it was Navarro Bowman on a tip in the end zone. And I think it was about week, I want to say
14.
11.
About 10, right?
Yeah, it was double
11.
digits.
Okay,
I
yeah.
said 14 just because.
Week
Because
11.
it seemed like we had to
Yeah,
wait
and
all
we
season.
did that with that monster pass rush and all that other BS. So, yeah, get over it.
So we had an interception in game 2. We also had a couple of very near misses. Conley, if he was one step
What
ahead
the
of
hell
where
is
he
that
actually
behind
was,
you?
he was what?
It's a black cat.
Oh.
It's my cat. I have 83
okay.
cats.
I
don't
thought
think
you
I
were
told
getting
that.
attacked by little miniature savages.
No. Well, they are sometimes, but I mean, let's remember that. Let's keep that in mind. This is all good stuff. I didn't see much bad last week. We gassed out. Our
Yeah,
guys
the only thing
arrived
bad
12
happened
hours
with 6
before the
seconds
game.
left.
Well, yeah, I was going to say
Our guys. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the long completion where Conley was caught in no man's land, where he was either going to go for the receiver up front. He was instead of bracketing the receivers bracketed him, and he made a bad move, did not get the guy on a tackle. The guy, I can't remember the kid's name, the guy that got the long completion. And for an extra, I want to say at least an extra 20 yards, chip shot, field goal, game over.
I was talking about earlier in the game, I was looking at Conley, and because he's been on my radar every single game, every single play.
He's played well.
There was a ball where he was just a step behind the receiver who tipped it, and if he would have been half a step closer, he made a lunge and he almost got it. So that was another almost interception. When these guys fine-tune themselves, they're all a bunch of newbies. I mean, not everybody on the field is a bunch of newbies, but they're all new to each other, and several of them are new to a football field, a professional football field, like Garyon Conley. He played 2 games last year. This is his 4th game. So if he's already all over people, if he gets his ball hawk skills up just a little bit, we're going to have a badass secondary. I have every belief in that. And the fact that Mo Hurst got his very first sack, that wasn't just in game 2. If he averages 1 every other game, I'm happy with him getting 8 sacks in his rookie year. Do you know who didn't get 8 sacks in his rookie year?
50 who?
50 who?
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the thing. And he's doing it from tackle, not defensive end.
He's doing it from tackle, exactly.
Any defensive tackle that gets 8
one of the
sacks
best
is worth his weight
defensive
in
players
gold.
in the league is that gets those kind of numbers? Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is also an interior defensive lineman. That's why he's so much better than people want to give him credit for. And
Aaron Donald, I think, only has maybe a half a sack in the 2 games that he's played.
And
I believe
just
that is
imagine
correct.
how much
And none of
more
them-
difficult Hurst. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Need to watch.
None of them were against the Raiders.
Yes, that's true.
And
We
imagine
have
how much
every
more.
reason to be happy about this. Let me keep talking. I want to talk. I like to hear myself talk.
I'm trying to tell him to watch the friggin' monitor so he can see when you're talking.
I was watching. Don't get me
it's
started.
okay. Don't get me started. I will come down there.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Damn it.
we'll have a match next week, okay? Andrea's
All
going to
right,
come down and kick Big L's ass.
Ooh, yeah, sister.
I was saying something really important and really smart and really
Say it.
profound, and then you interrupted it and you screwed it up, and now I lost it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, hon.
I don't remember what I was trying to
Garyon Conley being a stud and Maurice Hurst being a stud and Aaron Donald being nothing was where you left off.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, our line is holding up their own. The only person that failed this week, and this is something that really needs to be remedied, is 83-year-old Donald Penn, who dropped another block, and we missed a point after. He dropped a block, we missed a point after, we lost by 1 point. That's the guy who needs to be on the field doing reps constantly. And I understand he's, like I said, he's like 83 years old, and he just had surgery, and he's overweight and out of shape, even for a lineman. And he's moving to a right tackle position where he's not familiar and he's not accustomed. But that's a position that needs to be addressed big time. And even though he didn't give up any sacks, well, no, he did this week, didn't he? He gave up 1 sack.
Yeah, he gave up 2 because the other sack that Von Miller had was negated by a penalty on the defense. So one of Von Miller's sacks was taken off the board because they had a penalty, but Donald Penn was steamrolled at least twice in the game. And I'm glad that you gave me the segue, because here's the thing. If Donald Penn is not the answer, and by the way, Reggie Nelson is not the answer.
Oh, God, I was going to hit that.
Oh, okay. Well, no, if you're going to hit that, then we're going to have to get off on this conversation because that's getting really bad. Reggie Nelson is not the answer. Reggie Nelson is not the answer at safety. I do not know why that they are not playing Joseph Moore. I tell you what, Nick Nelson is going to be coming back from an injury per Gruden, so he's going to be coming back pretty soon. P.J. Hall is out in a walking boot. And, I can say who the Dolphins have on the injury report. I don't care. I really don't care. But if anybody does care, I'll get it later on. Andrea, the lady of infinite Raider knowledge, you're picking a Raider win by how much?
I'm going to say at least 2 scores, 10 points.
10 points. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it up here. I don't see it. gosh darn it, I had the what is it? The injury report. You know what? I don't care. PJ
It's
Hall
over
is
here somewhere, I think.
PJ Hall is the only one
Check the Miami one.
that you really need to know about. Okay, PJ Hall is not expected back. Nick Nelson is coming back eventually. Maybe not this week, but we'll give a shot in the arm. Can somebody please tell me why?
Check that.
Can somebody please tell me why the Reggie Nelson is in there? Because Reggie Nelson was supposed to be the teacher and eventually go away. He's still here. I don't like that.
Could it be that, I mean, Gilchrist has taken too long to master? But I don't understand it, because I'd rather have somebody out there going 100 miles an hour making mistakes than having him run around out there tiptoeing around, having people beat him to death. I mean, he's getting beat like somebody's out there just hitting him with a stick.
And I'm gonna say one more other comment, and it might not be looked upon favorably, but here's the thing, okay? DJ does not wrap up on his tackles. He does not wrap up. He is our middle linebacker, and he's not performing. And that's an issue. We have X amount of money left over because a 50 who is not on the team. Bowman is still out there. And I was of the nature that said, you know what, we don't need Bowman. We don't need Bowman. But you know what?
We need Bowman.
If DJ is going to be basically arm tackling, missing tackles, and not wrapping up, and then gets a break if somebody comes in and cleans up his mess, I'm thinking that I might be giving Navarro Bowman a call real soon.
I've wanted Navarro Bowman back since Navarro Bowman left. And I think that we're going from, 36 years old to 30 years old. You have a better option there. Navarro Bowman stepped in last week in week 7, I believe it was, and he took over the Mike position, and he did it well. He performed better than we could have hoped for. And there's no reason that we can't get him back on this field. The only reason I could think of is money. There was a gap in the money. And right now, I think he's in the right position. He's in the bargaining position because DJ is struggling. And that's kind of the only, I guess, plus side is that Tyre Whitehead is back there, and he's doing a good job. I like that kid a lot. I think he's really good. And with the right set around him, he can be just a monster up the middle. And I think he could be a stellar Mike position. But Bowman is obviously a little more experienced. Bowman is a physical specimen. The guy is built like a brick shit house. And he shows it. And he brings it onto the field every time. So I don't see why I think he's in the position to bargain right now because he's got something that the Raiders need.
Yeah, and that is hard hitting in the middle. I'd like to see more Marquil Lee if DJ is going to continue to struggle. I want to see Lee in there. I'd like to see more of Morrow as well. If he gets a little bit more weight on him, I think that Morrow will be well. I think we're going to be good at the linebacker spot. But, I'd like to see Bowman back. El, your shot on that? First off, what do you think? What do you see this weekend as far as the score? Or at least, you don't have to predict the score, but who's going to win and by how much?
I don't want to predict the score.
Right.
I think if we get out the same way that we got out, I think our defense our key is going to be, once again, because Miami has a formidable stable of running backs with Gore and Drake. If somehow, some way, we can pose some sort of front to stop them from gouging us in the middle, that's why I can't wait for PJ or Vanderdoes, something to shore up that middle. So it's not just Hurst that people have to focus on. Once we shore up the middle, it'll make everything better, because then the linebackers, like you said, we have young, fast linebackers that can scrape off the ends, and then we'll have a formidable front seven. DJ's place to this point, the first 2 weeks, is completely legitimizing and showing us why Kansas City let him go.
Yeah.
Bowman would be a tremendous upgrade. Tahir Whitehead's great. Tahir Whitehead is showing that he has great potential to take over in the middle. At this point, he is a hybrid. He could play inside, outside, whatever. And right now, I think we need to capitalize on that, get Bowman in here, and unless DJ has a huge cap hit, give him his walking papers or put him on the outside. But the next time that he goes in and tries to use your shoulder pads, but use your damn arms too.
That's right.
You're not at an age where you are fast enough to just knock the hell out of somebody and knock them backwards. You need to tackle. You need to wrap up. You're teaching these young kids bad habits.
Right. And you're supposed to be the man in the middle where everybody looks for you for the sage advice and for technique. And I tell you what, I've seen more out of Whitehead, Lee, and
Morrow.
Now, has Lamore? I haven't noticed if Lamore has been playing or not, but I know. I was gonna say he got injured the last time I was seeing, so I haven't seen a lot out of him. But I tell you what, there's got to be an answer at linebacker. I think it's actually on our team. I think we need to see more of Lee and Morrow, and I guess less of Reggie freaking Nelson back there. And I tell you what,
I don't see how the hell he made the damn team.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
No,
I was going to say, one of the things that I really, really was pleased to hear is how well Eric Harris did and how much he impressed his coaches, because that might be a solution. Reggie Nelson is there as a stopgap right now. He's a veteran. He knows Paul Gunther's scheme, and they are waiting for somebody to step in and take the reins. That's why we're looking at so many different secondary looks, because if you throw a nickel or a dime corner in there, or nickel or dime defensive back in there, we're going to see who can put up or shut up. And I think that's what the coaches are doing. This is a testing ground right now. Yeah, we had this in preseason, but at the moment, with this team, with the amount of journeyman players that are on this team, they are looking for solutions. And the first few games of the year, that's the time to do it, not towards the end of the year. You figure out who can take you through the rest of the season. And that's what our coaches are doing right now.
I agree. And I honestly feel that we have a couple of kids on the defensive side that are down there on our, what the hell is it called? Practice squad that they really like. Like Shaq, Calhoun, whatever.
Shalik,
he got called up.
Right, Calhoun is up. Price was sent down, or actually given his walking papers. And I will say this, and I'm going to give some props here to McDonald and Hankins, who, like I said, basically came off the street, off the couches. And I tell you what, Coach Gruden could not just say anything more wonderful about the effort that, especially that McDonald gave in Denver, with just basically coming in and suiting up and saying and meeting everybody for the first time. If Hankins and McDonald can last while Jelly is out and become more formidable together, I'm really digging the fact of where we can. We got a lot of good capabilities on the defense. We just need to get the right people in there.
Right. Calhoun, I think, if he can hold it, we need something. We need something until, Hall. And, I know we haven't seen Vanderdoes at all preseason. I still feel like that kid showed great promise the last quarter of last season when he picked it up and then he blew his ACL in the third quarter
of the last
freaking game.
Right.
And he's just not back 100%.
Okay.
Nor should he be.
Right.
That's the problem. We keep putting these guys back to work sooner than they're ready. And the Raiders have been notorious for that the last couple of years. It's not fair.
I'm sorry. He may miss the last He may miss the first 8 games of this year, just getting to the point where he's not risking re-injuring that ligament or another ligament in that knee, or just putting too much strain on that knee, just to make sure he's okay. And then, that'll be another 4 weeks before he's full strength and football shape. So this will basically be, for better for worse, almost a lost year. But that's fine if that means in year 3, he's performing at the level that he was the year before at the end of the season. I'm okay with that.
Okay, give me a point spread. Raiders by how much?
Me?
Yeah. Angria's already gave me
did
one.
mine.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about 10 points.
Okay.
I think they can beat them by 2 scores.
Okay. So I got 10 from the A, I got 10 from the L, and I'm gonna give you mine, and then we're gonna wrap up this initial episode of the Coast to Coast Raider Nation podcast, which I've definitely enjoyed with everybody here. I'm thinking, because I'm such a glass is half empty type of guy, okay? And I'm not from Missouri, but I'm definitely of the prove it nature. I can see a W. I can't see a W. But I don't see it as easily as my cohorts in crime here do as well. Miami got boat raced for the most part last year when I was in attendance there. And it's going to be, it was a little bit later in the season, and it was a night game. There's a lot of different things going on here. It's an early game. The Raiders generally do not do well in Miami early on. Now, again, that's the historical portions out there. I used to remember when the Raiders had a definitive edge on Miami in head-to-head matchups, and that's gone by the wayside. I am going to predict a win, but I'm going to say it's going to be closer than the 10-10 that my friends have here. And again, I hope I'm wrong. And I want to, yeah, I got you there, El. It's a good thing you guys can't see this.
There's a lot of pantomime going on right now.
A lot of it. Okay, I'm going to say maybe by 4 points. Maybe by 4 points. And again, I hope I'm wrong. But that's my take, and we'll attack this next week. So again, I've enjoyed this. This is going to be a great time together. I hope that everybody in Raider Nation comes out. This literally is coast to coast Raider Nation, because when you go from the shores of Florida to the shores of the Arctic in Anchorage, and you can't have a better crew than I have here. I want to thank my
shores.
Well, I got you. But I want to thank everybody that's here listening to us. I want to definitively thank my co-hosts, Big L and Angry Trask. And make sure that you guys and gals, mates and wenches, all of Raider Nation are here on Wednesdays, where we are going to be spitting the gospel and spitting the stats. We won't be spitting on each other unless, we...
You ain't spitting on me.
Well, only if we get close on the microphone. But again, thanks again for joining us this week. It's been wonderful. We'll see you next Wednesday, and we're going to be here every Wednesday, although we might have to figure out what we're going to do for the Miami week. Maybe, and hopefully so, my cohorts in crime can go back and forth, and they can hang out without me the Wednesday that I'm in London. But we'll figure that one out, okay?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. However, catch the captain and I this Sunday live in Miami for the pregame.
And make
It's
sure
the
you
captain
get.
and me, not the captain and I.
Oh, see, there's that word Nazi again.
Okay, we will be the captain and me.
It be the oh, you know what? And I totally blew. This was Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I was so engrossed with a bunch of other different things. Yarg, mateys, make sure you also be watching Miss Angria Trask on her podcasts on her network. Go ahead and pimp your stuff, wench.
We release our show every Wednesday. It's called Just Win Ladies. We are represented on the Raiders Podcast Network, which is the only network in the world that features only podcasts done about the Oakland Raiders. And we are the only podcast in the world done by Raiderettes exclusively.
Yar, I love me Raiderettes. I tell you that. They smell a lot better than the bastard that's sitting next to me as well. But then again, I don't smell too good myself. Anyway,
I love the smell of wenches in the morning.
This is why we're coast to coast.
that's right. We are coast to coast, and we are out real soon. Join us next Wednesday. Yarg, Raider Nation. We'll see you here, coast to coast, Raider Nation, every Wednesday.
For the little ears.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.